If the idea of ivy-covered walls, secret societies, and a dash of intellectual angst appeals to you, then dark academia is probably right up your alley. This aesthetic, with its love for literature, mystery, and the darker side of academia, has inspired some truly captivating films. Here are 6 dark academia movies that you should definitely watch at least once. Dead Poets Society is the film that made every English teacher dream of standing on a desk and shouting, "Oh, Captain, my Captain!" Robin Williams stars as John Keating, an unconventional teacher at a strict all-boys prep school who inspires his students to embrace poetry and seize the day. Carpe diem. It's the kind of film that tugs at your heartstrings while making you think about the power of literature and individuality. And let's be honest, it also made you want to read more poetry, even if just for a moment.
A bunch of guys sitting around reading poetry.
No. Ding! Thank you for playing anyway.
What was the Dead Poets Society?
The Dead Poets were dedicated to sucking the marrow out of life. Spirits soared, women swooned, and gods were created. Not a bad way to spend an evening, eh?
I hereby reconvene the Dead Poets Society.
To strive, to seek, to find.
The Imitation Game dives into the world of Alan Turing, the guy who basically cracked the Nazis' Enigma code and helped win World War II, but got treated like garbage because of who he loved. Benedict Cumberbatch nails it as Turing, showing us both the genius and the heartbreak of a man who should have been celebrated, not persecuted. Made on a $14 million budget, the movie punched way above its weight, pulling in over $233 million at the box office. And while the Christopher machine in the film adds some emotional heft, the real-life version was more about nuts and bolts than Hollywood flair.
You're going to need all the help you can get, and they are not going to help you if they do not like you.
Have you decrypted a single German message?
You will never understand the importance of what I am creating here.
Our patience has expired.
No!
If you fire Alan, well, then you'll have to fire me.
Me too.
And me.
Better bloody work.
Inola Holmes brings us the younger, spunkier sister of Sherlock Holmes, played by Millie Bobby Brown. The film follows Inola as she sets out to find her missing mother while dodging her famous brothers and solving a mystery that could change the course of history. Set in Victorian England but with a modern twist, this film blends adventure, mystery, and a good dose of girl power. It's fresh, fun, and makes you wonder why we didn't get an Inola sooner.
A wild woman brought up a wild child who will make her acceptable for society.
She seems intelligent.
There are 2 paths you can take, Inola. Yours, or the path others choose for you.
It is time to find my mother.
The game is afoot.
Kill Your Darlings dives into the early days of the Beat generation, centering on the real-life friendship and more between Allen Ginsberg, played by Daniel Radcliffe, and Lucian Carr. The film mixes poetry, rebellion, and a dark crime that shakes their world, all set against the backdrop of 1940s New York. It's a fascinating look at the minds that would later shape American literature, with a story that's as intense as the poetry these writers would go on to create. Plus, if you ever wanted to see Radcliffe break away from the shadow of Hogwarts, this is the movie.
To literacy.
A literary revolution without writing a word. Meet Trick Lou.
He is a professor who won't let me go.
Then let's get rid of him.
What the hell is this? You don't know Lou. As soon as you think you do, he'll find someone else.
Jack!
Maybe he already has.
Educating Rita is all about a hairdresser who decides she wants more out of life than just cutting hair. So she signs up for an open university course and ends up turning her alcoholic professor's life upside down. Michael Caine and Julie Walters are an odd but perfect pairing, bringing a mix of humor and heart to this story of self-discovery. Walters, by the way, didn't just step into the role for the film, she owned it on stage first, which might explain why she's so damn good here. The film didn't need a huge budget to strike gold at the box office, proving that sometimes all you need is a great story and actors who can bring it to life.
of life.
I want to look like that.
Okay.
Was that a book you're reading?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh, of human bondage.
Yeah? My husband's got a lot of books like that.
Rita, why didn't you walk in here 20 years ago?
I don't think they would have accepted me at the age of 6.
Greta Gerwig's Little Women isn't just another period drama. It's a clever reworking of a classic that makes you feel like you're discovering the March Sisters all over again. The film jumps between timelines, mixing the girls' childhood with their adult lives, which brings a new depth to their stories. Made on a $40 million budget, it blew past that to earn over $218 million worldwide, showing that audiences were ready for this fresh take. And with 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, it's clear that Gerwig's gamble on the non-linear storytelling paid off.
We can leave right now. I'll sell stories, and you should be an actress and you should have a life on the stage.
Just because my dreams are different than yours doesn't mean they're unimportant.
I have loved you ever since I've known you, Joe. I couldn't help it.
It would be a disaster if we married.
It wouldn't be a disaster.
We'd be miserable.
Joe, I'd be a perfect saint.
I can't.